Good day. I want to review some of the items from the St. John the Paul II and the Tillich reading. First, let's look at the big picture for the unit. As you recall, the goal for the religion unit is about focusing on the true nature of religion. And religion is not about passively believing, but it's about pursuing truth and asking and struggling with meaningful questions. So consider how the reading from St. John Paul II and Tillich fit into this goal. Let's get into it a little. So the first reading from St. John Paul II is called What is the Use of Believing? And it's from a book called Crossing the Threshold of Faith. First thing John Paul does is he answers the question. He says, the use or purpose of belief is to entrust ourselves. Let's go back one. And we believe because we have faith and we learn how to entrust ourselves. And so what does it mean to entrust ourselves? It's very similar to when Mary was approached by the angel Gabriel and her response was, "Thy will be done." Or when Jesus on the cross says, "Into thy hands I commend my spirit." Or for example, when Martin Luther King Jr. was giving one of his last speeches, he says, "I'm not worried about having a short or a long life. I just want to do God's will." In other words, he had completely surrendered the outcome of his life. It's great embodiment of our St. Ignatius principle of Ignatian indifference. Second big idea is that we can't be forced to believe anything. And really, we are committed by our search for the truth. And so that's all our initiative, our willingness. We can't be forced to believe anything. And if you remember last year from your morality class, it's about our conscience. The conscience is our sanctuary, our secret core, where we hear God's voice. And we have to, inform that conscience and follow that conscience. And our usefulness, our gratefulness is going to be marked. How we're able to cooperate with God, how we're able to help in rebuilding God's kingdom. All right, that's article number 1. So piece number 2, and hopefully that should, by the way, sound very familiar from previous courses, especially what you talked about last spring in morality. So piece 2 is from Tillich, and this was written in 1958. So the question is this even relevant today, here and now? And I think you know my answer to that question, or else we wouldn't be talking about it. So first question that's asked is, what does it mean to be religious? And what it means to be religious is that we ask passionately the questions of the meaning of our existence. Why am I here? Who am I? Whose am I? And we're willing to receive the answers, even if the answers hurt. This is an image, of course, that's called the Tank Man of the anniversary of the Tiananmen Square in China, the courage that this person displayed in really standing down the tanks. Next piece is that Tillich says that these depth questions are posed, or what it means to be religious is really happening in great art, in literature, and even in philosophy. In many ways, traditional religions are lacking in being religious. Ironic, isn't it? Question to think about is like, what books have you read in your English classes that have really been examples of being religious, or art that you've participated in or even helped create? And what about philosophy? How are those examples of being religious? Then the big question is do these articles from John Paul II and Tillich complement each other or contradict each other? Take a minute to think about that.